Mahendrakumar Bajpai, Advocate Supreme Court from New Delhi. The overall condition today is that Indian patients still treat their doctors as gods, an incarnation of gods. But things are changing and changing at a very fast pace. Patients are suing doctors for alleged negligence, and especially in the last year, we saw that patients were challenging the expertise, the skills of the doctors as a doctor. Very specifically, I am referring to cases of diagnosis, misdiagnosis, delayed diagnosis that have been reported in various courts in India. Our statistics says that they have doubled since 2014. This points out to two facts. One, that the patients are litigating more, taking doctors to court more, again a fact that we all know. And the second, that the patient is getting more well informed. So even on the medical science aspect, the patient is challenging the doctor. Medical negligence is slowly becoming a contentious issue, especially for the healthcare providers. Doctors, hospitals, they are apprehensive about the legal problems, and they are actually facing such problems. So the overall situation does not seem good. The implication is that the cost of healthcare is bound to increase in the days and years to come. One reason for that would certainly be these medico-legal problems. Doctors are resorting to defensive medicine, giving medicine not because patient needs it, giving medicine simply because it will protect the doctor from a legal problem tomorrow when it comes. The moot question is, can a country like India afford that? So these are few implications of rising costs of medical negligence that the country may have to pay in future. Simply stated, medical negligence means that the doctor is not diligent, he is not even careless. It's a degree of carelessness which is very high, a state of mind. If you ask for definition, a very simple definition, something that the doctor ought to have done, but the doctor has not done, something that the doctor should not have done, but has done, and obviously the patient has faced problem because of this omission or commission. This is medical negligence in a nutshell and simpler terms. Obviously, Bolam's law is a law. Hats off to the pronouncement made by the Queen's Bench way back in 1956. That law is still applicable not only in India but across the world wherever modern medicine and modern law are applicable. Even in India, that law is applicable. One feature, or rather one change that we have observed in Bolam's law is that today medical expert opinion, as you all may be knowing, that in cases of medical negligence, another doctor has to give medical opinion whether the negligent doctor was actually negligent or not. Some changes have been brought down by another very landmark case, Bothello, again pronounced in England, by which medical expert opinion now is not sacrosanct. So the courts are even dissecting a medical opinion given by another doctor in court, and at times are holding that this medical opinion is not correct, incorrect, and therefore ought to be discarded. I would not say it is a trend, but certainly these features can be observed, and to be very precise, we are observing this in the patients of northern part of the country. Patients are filing cases of medical negligence simply because they want their fees to be waived, simply because they want concessions, and doctors and hospitals under pressure are giving concessions, are waiving of fees. So this is a dangerous trend for the overall healthcare industry. Appropriate measures need to be taken to contain this, to address this. It's a debatable issue whether cap on compensation should be there or not. There is one school of thought which says that compensation should be capped as in the US, without knowing completely that in the United States, it's only the non-pecuniary compensation that is banned. In India, in the case of Kunal Saha, where 11 crore rupees compensation was granted, only 10 lakh rupees was given as non-pecuniary compensation. So Indian courts anyway are not giving compensation for non-pecuniary loss cost to the patient on a higher side. It's peanuts. Again, there can be no law which can cap the compensation that the courts have to provide to a patient who has undergone a surgery or has taken medicine in a private setup. The actual loss cost to be the patient because of the negligent act of a doctor or a hospital always has to be compensated in real terms. So capping compensation, we don't know what policy may come in place, but capping non-pecuniary compensation will not help this cases of medical negligence. Obviously, this is one of the most fundamental reasons why we see the patient ultimately reaching in court. We can pinpoint a few problems. One of them obviously is that the doctor does not have enough time to give to the patient. Number two obviously is commercialization of medicine. With commercialization, the focus of the doctor, the hospital is always on making money. So a profession which was there to provide care has lost that human touch, and that we find in one of the judgments pronounced by the National Consumer Commission very recently. As of now, things are not moving the right way they ought to have moved. Some awareness amongst patients is also needed. Patients must be made aware that simply because you have money or you have paid money, medical science does not have an answer for all your problems. In spite of the best doctors and the best facilities, things may go wrong, and the doctors may not have an explanation. The medical science does not have an explanation for that. So for something like this, the doctor or the hospital should not be blamed. Again, as far as India is concerned, doctors are unaware of the legal provisions. There is nothing by which a doctor can become aware of the legal problems, of the legal structure that he has to follow. MCI, Government of India, need to bring in new regulations as far as medical practice is concerned. An eye has to be kept, otherwise a developing country like India will go the US way, where billions and billions of dollars are paid as compensation. It is not good for a developing economy like India.